Charles the First Emperor of Spain, and the fifth Holy Roman Emperor, was the emperor for both the Spanish and Holy Roman Empires. The story was that the Habsburgs ruled over Austria since the end of 11th century. Emperor Maximilian I Charles' grandfather arranged for his son Philip a marriage with Joanna the Mad, daughter of the Spanish monarch, so, as a result, King Philip, the already Duke of Burgundy and Lord of the Netherlands, inherited the title of King of Spain, thus establishing the Spanish branch of the Habsburgs family. Moreover, Charles was as well the heir of the Holy Roman Empire, unifying under his rule lands compares to the empire of Charlemagne after his grandfather Emperor Maximilian I passed out in 1519. However, the Habsburg house had a more extent empire, from nowadays South Chile to Hungary, enriched with the vast resources of the New World. Charles V was the king of the Old and New Worlds. Interestingly, someone had claimed this title: the Roman Caesar, the Muslim Caliphate, and the Ottoman Emperor Suleiman the Magnificent. Actually, the legendary and mighty Suleiman had vast territories under his rule, from nowadays Algeria to Indonesia, with various degrees of influence and alliances. Moreover, the support and power to announce jihad all around the Muslim world. They both shared a very long stretch of borders carved by historic battles and colossal clashes wiping out lives of the youngs. The Ottomans were at the peak of their strength, with territories spanning 3 continents. It was the historic and the very anticipated battle by both emperors, the East versus the West. Pope Clement VII, one of his vassals, called for a holy league to stop the Muslims knocking down state after another. On the other side, the Franco-Ottoman alliance, also known as the Franco-Turkish alliance, was an alliance established in 1536 between the King of France, Francis I, and the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, Suleiman the Magnificent. The strategic and sometimes tactical alliance was one of the longest lasting and most important foreign alliances of France. Francis I and Suleiman the Magnificent initiated the Franco-Ottoman alliance. Despite they never met in person, the alliance was an opportunity for both rulers to fight against the hegemony of the House of Habsburg. The objective for Francis I was to find an ally against the Habsburgs. The alliance was exceptional, as the first non-ideological alliance in effect between a Christian and Muslim state, and caused a scandal in the Christian world. However, it lasted intermittently for more than 2.5 centuries, until the Napoleonic campaign in Ottoman Egypt in 1798,181. The reasons why Pope Clement VII called for the Holy League was that the Muslims annihilated Hungary after the Battle of Mohacs in 1521, outlasting Hungary forever, conquering the city of Budapest, Hungarian capital, and unlocking the gates to the very heart of Europe and bordering the Holy Roman Empire. As in the 16th century, the Christian world was decimated by Ottoman Empire military conquering throughout Eastern Europe and Mediterranean. The Christian flank, which was very exploited to the extent Vienna, capital of Austria, was under siege multiple times by the mighty Ottomans. Moreover, in western side of the Mediterranean, European ports were raided and sacked by Muslim Admiral Kireld and Barbarossa. This name brought fear in the hearts of Europe, and the Pope as Papal States and Western Europe were decimated by his coast raids. Moreover, Emperor Charles suffered from the heroic Kireld and Barbarossa skirmishes in the Mediterranean as he raided Spanish and Italian ports, pillaging, burning ships, and castles. From Muslim chronicles, Barbarossa was a hero, liberating Muslim prisoners under captivity due to the Inquisition, a barbaric act by the Spaniards to Christianize the Iberian Peninsula, persecuting Muslims and Jews whose ancestors lived on the peninsula for centuries. This was after the fall of the final Muslim stronghold on the Iberian Peninsula, the Emirate of Granada. Seeking to counter the naval might of the Ottoman Navy, Emperor Charles granted the Order of St. John of Jerusalem suzerainty over Malta to be as his vassal under the realm of Kingdom of Sicily in 1530, as the order used to be a thorn for the Ottomans, as a naval power disturbing their trade, similar to what they did when they were in Rhodes. And the order started again to be thorn for the Ottomans after the immediate establishment of their navy and building of forts fortifying the island, learning from the Rhodes siege in which Ottomans exploited their weak medieval traditional defenses. So they replaced those medieval-style defenses with modern forts with ramparts capable of withstanding the huge shock of cannonballs, and with bastions flanking positions of offenders. The island became a safe harbor and a sea fortress for the Spanish Armada along with the Order's navy. They were very strong and were strengthened more by the wealth of the New World. Sultan Suleiman, furious about the re-establishment of the order in 1565, the Ottomans attempted a siege, but they failed drastically, and their leader Draga, the drawn sword of Islam, died after taking San Elmo in 1565. After the siege, the order received substantial sum of money as donations. They used it to renovate fortifications of the island more, and with more aid from kings of Europe sending them money and granting them possessions, as they feared Ottomans by taking Malta to use it as a staging point to invade Europe. With that, a golden age of architecture started, with mainly Baroque architecture everywhere, and they built today's capital, Valletta, built in 1571. The order continued to fight in the Crusades against the Ottomans. After the order disbanded in 1538, pure to their defeat in Preveza by Ottoman navy, they all suffered from multiple defeats, each one separatingly losing a lot of Pisesians to the Ottomans. This urged for a need for the Holy League to gather again. Shortly after, they gathered in a haste alliance to repel the Ottomans from Malta's siege in 1565. They regrouped together again in addition to the wealthy states of Italy, which had vast wealth. Moreover, the island fortress with its natural harbors protected by vast, extensive, and complex network of fortifications was like a jewel for any empire desires asserting power on the Mediterranean, and became a goal for Francis and Europe's greatest strategist Napoleon Bonaparte. The next video is about Napoleon's invasion of Malta 1798. Thanks, like and subscribe. Bye.